G'day everyone, my name's Robbie Alexander and I've got mail. Hey Robbie, you've got mail! You better check your mailbox! Okay Robbie, thanks mate. What's the address? Post Office Box 3006, Yarunga LPO, Wangaratta 3677. Righto folks, I'm out in the woods as they say in America. I'm out the bush. I'm actually standing in the middle of a pine plantation, and in case you're wondering why, that's because it's blowing a gale and pine trees tend to break up the wind quite well. You'll note I'm using this crazy looking lav mic because an on-top camera microphone, even with the dead cat noise reductor on it, will still be quite noisy in this wind I think. Anyway, all technical jargon aside, Tackleclub freshwater, trout and redfin box. Rightio folks, what's in the box? What is in the Tackleclub trout and redfin box? Let's find out. It's hard being out the bush and not in the shed. I haven't got Stanley knives and razor blades. Rightio. This is the tackleclub.com.au November trout and redfin box. I'll have to show you these first. We've got a Tackleclub sticker. And there's the breakdown of everything that's in the box. I won't show you that just yet. I'll read that out near the end. Because of the wind, I've got to put it on the front seat of the car. Right, let's go through one by one. What have we got in the box? We have some Gomoku shrimp scent armour shads, 3-inch armour shads. Gomoku 3-inch armour shad soft plastics. Okay. We have this. That's really cool. But what is it? It's a Gomoku shallow crank. Check it out. It's like the little Gomoku brute that I was using last year to catch Murray cod, except it's a Gomoku. It's a different company, and it's about a quarter of the size. It's a tiny, weeny little square bibbed minnow for chasing redfin. I'm going to give that a crack. I'm actually going fishing today. That's why I'm out the bush. I'm going to give this one a crack. What else have we got here? Oh, I've got one of these at home. I've got a video on these things. The Pontoon 21 Tantalizer. These are an awesome trout minnow. It's a jointed minnow. I'll see if I can get it to sit in the right angle. There we go. It's a jointed minnow. They swim absolutely. I've got this really amazing swim pattern. The back sort of kicks around and reflects the light. I'll see if I can put a link above to where I've used this in the past. I've got one of these, and it's something that I really rate. Pontoon 21. Anything with Pontoon 21 on it is something that I really rate. I'm a big fan of Pontoon 21 stuff. Rapala jigging shad wrap. Glows in the dark. So we've got like an ice jig. A Rapala jigging shad wrap, which looks like a kind of an ice jig. I haven't used these for a long time, but I have used them a lot in the past up at Lake William Hovell, and they are absolutely dynamite on the redfin. They are a tried and proven redfin lure. We've got some Fish Arrow J Grub 3-inch soft plastics. They're a curl tail minnow. You can see the minnow with the eyes, but they're a curl tail. So we often talk about curl tail grubs. These are a curl tail minnow. Fish Arrow 3-inch J Grub. Lovely natural colour. And we've got some, what are these? Pontoon 21. I was trying to work out what they are, then I saw Pontoon 21 and my eyes lit up. Awaruna. I've never heard of these. Pontoon 21 Awaruna soft plastics. You can see they're a paddle tail grub. Pontoon 21 Awaruna soft plastics. Homungu lures. I've not heard of these at all, to be quite honest. But basically anything that's got Pontoon 21 on it is the best quality of the lot. I'm a big fan of them, as I've said a million times. But that is a paddle tail grub. That is really cool. Oh, there's something else in it. There's something in here that will guaranteed to get used. Tackleclub.com.au. Look at that. Tackleclub.com.au stubby holder. Right, now let's have a look and see what this is all worth. November 2020. So this is the November Tackleclub package. If you order the December trout and redfin box, it'll be different because they vary from month to month. This is the November box.
Fish Arrow Flash J Grub, $13.99. Pontoon 21 Awaruna, 2.5 inch. That's the curl-tail grub, that paddle tail grub thing, $11.99. Domeki Armour Shad 3 inch, $9.99. Rapala Ice Jig, $10.99. Storm Gomoku Shallow Crank, $14.95. And the Pontoon 21 Tantalizer is $19.99.
Subscription cost is $49.99 and it's $80.90 worth of gear. You see that subscription cost $49.99, so you pay $50, but you get $80 worth of gear. And that is how Tackleclub works. They source lures when they can get them cheapest. When the things are on special or wholesalers have got a discount, they try and source them at the cheapest price, put them together, then you get a bulk discount box. And that's why you get $30 off. It's like, I don't know, my maths isn't great, maybe 40% or something. But that's how Tackleclub works. They source things that are at a discount price and they can get them on the cheap. They put them in a box, and rather than getting a cheap lure, you get a box full of cheap lures. And if you get a subscription, you get them each month, or you can get them as a once-off box. Speaking about that, if you go to tackleclub.com.au, I've said this before, but I'll say it again. If you use my discount code Robbie10, you will save 10% off all once-off boxes and gift boxes. If you use Robbie10S, if you take out a subscription, S is for subscription, so Robbie10S will get you 10% off the first box of a subscription. So Robbie10 for once-off purchases, Robbie10S, and you'll save 10%. So on that, which is $49.99, you would save $4.99. Rightio, folks, so that is the November trout and redfin Tackleclub box. I'm particularly keen on this lure. So keen that I'm about to go fishing right now, and I'm going to go and tie that on very, very first and see if I can catch a fish on it straight away. Rightio, here we go. The Storm Gomoku Shallow Crank GCS 38. So it's 38 millimeters. That's got a decent rattle. Now, normally with a minnow, I always tie a loop knot, but I didn't this time. I've just tied just a normal blood knot straight to the end of the lure. A lot of lures won't swim at all with a blood knot, but they will swim okay with a loop knot. Rightio, I've been casting this little Storm shallow crank for about half an hour. I haven't done any good. I had a couple of small redfin followed it in over there on the bank, but they didn't strike it. The water's still quite cold. I'm at altitude here, it's quite cool, so the fishing might be just a little bit slow. But here's a real quick review on the lure. It casts exceptionally well, possibly better than any other lure in that size range. Despite being called a shallow crank, it actually dives quite deep, and even bringing it in here along this deep bank, it was coming up from a good 5 or 6 feet under. So even on a cast, it'll dive to a metre and a half without any problems at all using 4-pound monofilament. You will benefit from a loop knot. I've got a loop knot here, or some kind of a line clip or swivel. These little minnows, they don't pull a lot of water, they don't displace a lot of water, and if the knot isn't symmetrical, they're prone to swimming one way or the other up onto their side. Now, tying it straight to the line at the start with a blood knot, the first few casts were good, but the moment I hit a snag, all it needed to do was just dislodge it a little bit and the lure would go on its side. A blood knot has ensured a decent swim pattern with every single cast. A loop knot, sorry, has ensured a decent swim pattern with every single cast. So it casts absolutely amazing. It dives deeper than you would think, and it swims very well, and you will benefit from a loop knot. The swim pattern is quite tight. It hasn't got a wide sway, just a little touch. Sort of, instead of swimming like that, it sort of comes through quite. It's got a real tight little swim pattern. So being such a tight swim pattern, that means it's not pushing or displacing as much water, which means that the fish may find it a bit harder to find in dirty water. Perfectly fine in clear water, or water that's even reasonably clear, but in dirty water, the swim pattern might not send out as many vibrations because it's such a tight shimmer. The rattle is fantastic. I love the rattle, and you can pause it and twitch it really, really well on a retrieve to get it to rattle. So when it's swimming, you might be able to see the swim pattern there if you're lucky. You can stop it and give it a couple of real hard twitches to get it to rattle, and it will still swim very, very well. Overall, I think this is a fantastic little lure. I really like it. I'm looking forward to using it more, and I'm sure I'm going to catch some redfin on it. I don't know where you can buy these. I've never really had any association with Storm or Storm Gomoku. I've never really had any association with them. The only place I've ever seen them is here in the Tackleclub, the November Tackleclub box. So you might need to do a little bit of research if you want one. But that's just a real quick review on what I think of the lure, and I'm looking forward to using it down the track and seeing if I can catch some redfin on it.